Welcome to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Gentleman, the podcast that deals with the early life of J.R. Hendrick. And now, narrating the episode Homecoming, J.R. and Jimmy. "2 p.m. Central. Now, back in my dorm, I've had an eventful hour. Dave took me to the campus bank to withdraw $1,400 from my account. And I went and bought a portable solar power typewriter. Larry Thurber showed up and gave me some reams of papers to take notes on. And I said I was going to get me a bucket of chicken for dinner tonight from Kentucky Fried Chicken on campus. 7 p.m. Eastern. At the mansion, the Hendrick party has fried chicken, scalloped potatoes, asparagus, green beans, and sterling lemon pie. 7 p.m. Central. Jennifer Bowers decided to stop in my suite to have a little Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner with me. We both had to be in bed early tonight because we had to be up at 5:30. Her to meet her sorority to be in a flotilla for the homecoming parade, and me to be there for the scripture club. Tim Newcastle would be taken with me to Jones Stadiums, and we had to stay there until his grandfather brought the Pontiac. 5:20 a.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C., Jim watches HBO. His speech this morning would be at 10 a.m. 5 a.m. Central. In the entrance living room, Gordon Hall, I saw Brent in his swimming jersey and bag. Walked outside the door before he turned to me. He said that there was a swim meet this morning against Lubbock Christian University and Lubbock University College. Lubbock University College Invitational. Because of his stretch training, the coach said that Charlie was disqualified until his athletic trainer cleared him to go back on the football field again. I looked around and saw Dave Smith head out of my dorm room, and he has this huge bag full of football supplies to go to football practice. Suddenly, Tim Newcastle comes down from upstairs and approaches me. Natalie will pick us up at 7. We have to be at Jones Stadium at 7:30 and wait for Grandpa to present the car. 7 a.m. Eastern. The TVC breakfast reception definitely began with the opening speaker being Bill Hume, the Libertarian running for Congress in Virginia. Now, I might be a libertarian, but these traditional values I hold dear. Classical liberalism, free market value, and the necessity of individuals and societies to take responsibility for their actions, Bill Hume said. He's so full of crap, Dave Rosenberg protested. Sit down and button it, Jim fumed. Gentlemen, please, Scully Underwood whispers loudly and emphatically. 7 a.m. Central. So we climbed in Natalie's 1990 Land Rover and drove over to Jones Stadium to wait for Tim's grandpa to present the 1963 Lincoln Continental. 8 a.m. Central. Tom was getting discouraged and was thinking about forgetting about the car when all of a sudden his grandfather pulled up in the Lincoln Continental. Don't screw it up, son, his grandfather said as we climbed inside. Up front was Tom and Natalie. In the back was myself. 8:50 a.m. Central. Our part of the parade was over. And so they dropped me off at Gordon Hall, and I walked into the main lobby where I heard my Uncle Tom. Junior, stretch out your hands, Uncle Tom said, slipping a Texas Tech jacket on me. Hello, son, Grandma Elizabeth said, fully embracing me. I haven't seen you in, 2 months now? Your cousin Austin is meeting us at Josie's. He can't wait to see you. I love you, Grandma. My brothers. Sad he don't want to come, Gerald said. Your crazy father was right. He's too busy in his own life to care. But you know what? That means you are slain more than anything. That means you have a servant's heart. And you are a true gentleman, Uncle Tom said. I was often angry at your parents when they doubted your potential. But I always knew this day would come. Instead of a little tech man, you're a big tech man on campus now. 10 a.m. Eastern. In Washington, D.C. at the Jefferson Hotel Ballroom, Jim is giving a 30-minute speech. To the Traditional Values Coalition. Convention in Washington, D.C. It's his keynote address. He would be followed by Carol Stringer, Andrew House, Scotty Underwood, and Christian Lightfoot. Jim could tell that Dave Rosenberg had contempt for Christian Lightfoot, as Jim told him to shut his mouth. 11 a.m. Central. Uncle Tom got a call saying that Josie's was full, so we went to the Labaritas Mexican restaurant. The Swain family has every reason to be proud of you, Junior, Austin says. After Andy divorced me and took custody of Josh, I lost it. I spent 9 months in prison and decided it was time for me to perform my act. You are one of the lucky ones. A lot of people in our family were outlaws, but your granddad raised you to be a gentleman, and you and Tom broke the code. Even though I don't understand my daddy, I guess in some ways he helped. He helped in that, Gerald said. I don't know, Junior. Your daddy would have had you institutionalized if it weren't for your granddad standing up for you, Uncle Tom said. Tom's, please hush. I don't like Jim any more than you do. But he is Junior's father, Elizabeth said. 1:30 p.m. Eastern. Jim and Dave Rosenberg had a serious fight after the convention. So when they returned to the mansion, Jim went upstairs to his room and slammed the door, blaring some of his favorite tunes from 1963. Betsy was knocking on the door, begging him to come downstairs. Meanwhile, in the Southeast Lounge, Avery Covington is talking to the Dream Team. Y'all, everybody here needs to calm down. Dave, you have some good points, but the way you argue with Jim makes him feel like he's a piece of crap. Scotty Underwood spoke calmly to the group. You make him feel unwelcome in the East. Well, what happened is he'll fire each and every one of you, and maybe even side with Clinton. And damn it, I don't want that. 1:30 p.m. Central. I was ecstatic when Austin, Uncle Tom, and myself got in the truck. Uncle Tom's rental red and white 1991 Ford Bronco pickup to go to the game. Grandma decided to stay in my living room at Gordon Hall and watch Charlie's TV. 5 p.m. Central. And Texas Tech was winning against SMU 21-5. When the announcer made this statement. Allow me to introduce to you one of our most distinguished alumnus, Jerry Thomas Swain. Uncle Tom grabbed Jerry's hands for him to stand up alongside him. Smile for the camera, Junior, Uncle Tom said. 5:55 p.m. Eastern. In the front lounge of the mansion, Jim, Betsy, and Scotty Underwood are drinking cocktails. 5 p.m. Central. Halftime is here, and Texas Tech is beating SMU 35-19. Uncle Tom gets Orlando's catered to us. I had fettuccine Alfredo and a glass of Dr. Pepper with breadsticks. Jennifer Bowers, who was with us, sat alongside me, and we enjoyed a good lunch together. 7:05 p.m. Central. Jennifer and I had to take a shuttle from Jones Stadium back to Gordon Hall. But we sat there and talked a little while. Jennifer couldn't come see me tomorrow because her parents would be there. So I asked her to join me at 5 Monday night in order to do some study together. Kevin McDonald came in happy as ever, having scored 5 touchdowns with Texas Tech, spanking SMU 40-19. Dave Smith went out for dinner with his grandmother, and Charlie came back in tired and beat. He only won. He was unhappy being benched. What I recall, he only slept a couple of hours and then went off to Coleman Hall for his couch potato night. October 16th, 1994, 2:15 a.m. Waking up, Jim walks into the VIP lounge and watches HBO. He is happy that Claude came to see him and would be there until Thursday morning. He and Becky were having problems, and Claude needed a break. 4:05 a.m. Eastern. In the movie theater, Jim is watching Movie Classics channel. Forrest Gump is on screen. 4:35 a.m. Eastern. Betsy wakes up earlier than expected and goes downstairs to the mansion chapel to pray. She's happy that her mother has been home since Thursday, and that she sounded happy on the phone last night when she returned from the homecoming festivities with JR and Tom. 6:10 a.m. Eastern. Jim joins Betsy in the home chapel to pray and read the Bible. 6:20 a.m. Central. Dave Smith honked his car on the front of Gordon Hall, and I run outside. Hey man, what's up? Let's have breakfast, I said, getting into the car. Good to hang out, Dave. There was a short pause. I have to ask you something. Are you interested in my cousin, Elizabeth Marie? How did you know? Dave asked. Papa's Charlie Nation has been listening to some of your phone conversations. He told me what's going on, and I told him to shut up. Okay, I can understand why you have bitterness towards Charlie. But let's try to put it aside. There are ways for me to find out. To sell, you know. But I'm not going to jump all over you if that's the case. Sometime this week, we'll talk. Dave Smith drove them to Denny's for breakfast. 8 a.m. Eastern. Dave Smith and I talk in the car. You know, you public affairs guys can be poisonous, Dave said. Why the hell is that? You're all hype. Terse but pithy articles and a photo op at City Hall or the Capitol. Watch it. Brent Clark still needs us. He drops JR off at the University Center. 9:30 a.m. Eastern. At Calvary Hill Baptist Church. Pastor Lowry preaches about ministering to the poor. 1 p.m. Eastern. Back at the mansion, Jim and Betsy had a huge fight. Betty went upstairs and slammed her lounge door. Jim goes to the front lounge and drinks some bourbon. Bobby sits down with him on the sofa. Uncle Jim, please tell me what is wrong. Preacher didn't like my job, Jim said. Let's hit the swimming pool after a while, if I'm up to it. 1:35 p.m. Eastern. Jim goes into the home chapel to pray. He is joined by Amy, Kathleen, and Forever. 1 p.m. Central. Pizza was for lunch at the Holy Spirit Club. As I sat down next to Alice Portalis. We wish you could come back to morning devotionals, Alex said. Proper swaying manners. A swaying gentleman always attends a Baptist church on Sunday morning. But your last name is Henry, Jr. Don't correct me, Alex. I was raised more properly through my maternal side of the family, while my father was out chasing dreams. And I really hadn't had a chance to get to know his side of the family that much. So I'm taking after my mama's genes. You mean ranchers? Springfield is always home to me. That don't mean that I'm gonna sit and move back there after graduation from school and mine after a bunch of cows. Charlie Nation is certainly an idiot, assuming that you're like your father. You're not. And that's not so bad. 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Betsy asked Jim by phone to go to the press briefing room. And he walks in. I know I behaved horribly, Betsy said. What do you mean? Jim asked. What I know is that I behaved horribly. Let's make up. Pastor Lowry, can't you see he was trying to help you? I got provoked, no doubt. You're under a lot of strain because some of the people that sympathize and work with the president, I can understand that. I know, Big Mama. Let's go upstairs for people's love making. We don't have much time. Our guests are going to be here in an hour and a half. Betsy gets up and gives Jim a peck on the cheek. But it'll help keep the family together. I was too hard on that preacher. Come on upstairs. Let's roll around. They run through the mansion foyer and upstairs, Jim chasing Betsy, almost like it's their wedding night all over again. Before you know it, they are in the bedroom and passion takes place. 2 p.m. Central. Alex Vitalis and I were in the Spirit Club lounge listening to Grassroots. It's that gospel band I had talked about in a few episodes back. It was Alex's favorite band. Being raised in the Assemblies of Christ at the hands of a very strict father who demanded absolute reverence and silence during sacrament meeting. The Assemblies of Christ sacrament would be traditional Jewish unleavened bread and grape juice, preferably kosher. The Book of Mormon was added to the Bible and the Assemblies of Christ, and the Doctrine and Covenants was added as an extra biblical book. 4 p.m. Eastern. Jim and Betsy greet Mr. and Mrs. Barbara and Millard Hollum. They go into the front lounge and have some pina coladas. 4 p.m. Central. At his dorm room, J.R. calls his grandmother, and they talk about yesterday's homecoming festivities. 7 p.m. Eastern. The reception is underway in Washington, D.C. And just as they sit down to dinner, the talk turned to politics, and Betsy was leading the conversation. 8:30 p.m. Central. Studying his Bible, J.R. notices that Dave Smith walks in, and he asks him to meet him on the 3rd floor of the library at the Center for Visually Impaired at 5 p.m. I hope you enjoy listening to the J.R. Hendrick Texan Night. If you like what you hear, please subscribe, become a part of the adventure. This is the James Hendrick Empowerment Network saying until next time, get ready for the rest of the story. It's going to get a bit more interesting from here.